Here's that music. It's Role Play Real Estate Wednesday. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Claude Diamond, and you have the guts to succeed in real estate or anything else. We're going to talk about it today. I love participation. Type in your questions, type in whatever you want. We can do role plays. I can answer questions, and I have a special guest coming. I hope he pops in real soon. And let's get rid of the music here for a while. And all my friends down there. David Skulnick, I can see you. Give me a little wave. Good. Sean's there. Lil. Oh, all you guys got your video off. So if you got to turn on your video if you want to participate, do role plays. That's how you learn. That's how you get better at what you're doing. Something I wanted to talk about today is someone I've been reading for a while. I had the background here. How many Ayn Rand fans here? I'm probably pronouncing her name. It's Ayn Rand, actually. One of my favorite books, The Virtue of Selfishness. Ooh, controversial little topic here. Been reading Ayn Rand said that the individual who achieves greatness should achieve greatness and should be richly rewarded, and they will manifest greatness to other people. They will make other people's lives better. So rather than being this altruist, she did not believe in altruism, giving away things in society to a lot of people, being generous and donating all the time. She believed that one person could change the world. One person could make lives better for everybody, but they had to prioritize themselves first. A little bit, she called the book Selfishness. And I was wondering what you guys think about that, if you have any opinions on that. Let's go here. Let's add one brave man there in a nice red shirt. David Skulnick, San Diego, California. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Captain?
Hey, I'm doing good. We're broadcasting on 8 different or more social networks right now. Have you ever read Ayn Rand?
No, I never heard of her.
You never heard never heard of Atlas Shrugged or the
pretty thick books though.
They're very big books.
She was like War and Peace.
She wrote a lot of she wrote long books, fictional books. She wrote about how one person she was a person who immigrated from Russia, and she saw
didn't we all?
David, I was talking while you were interrupting me.
Sorry.
I was interrupting you. You always do that.
Sorry.
Wait till I take a breath. I do it.
It's the New York thing.
I know. I'm a New Yorker. I even talk with my hands and everything. But she escaped from Russia and came to. I'm looking for my guest here, seeing if and when they pop up.
Is that name a man or a woman?
It is a man. It is actually a man. And let's see if he's. Nope, he still isn't here. Let me send him a little text here real quick. I wanted to talk about Ayn Rand for a second.
So I'm your Ed McMahon for right now.
I'd rather be Johnny Carson. Okay, I sent him a little text there. I really believed in the achievement of one person. Should one person take care of themselves first and their responsibilities in their family, financial security, and everything else? Or should we put that on the side and just give everything to everybody else? Who should come first? Should charity begin at the home, or should we?
Like you always say, the salesman comes first.
Oh, Hey, and here's a salesman does come first, and here he comes. I just sent you a text. You were scaring me.
No. I was actually. It's been a while since I haven't been on StreamYard, so I was just trying to get the permissions for microphone and audio and all that. So everything that Claude told me to do before the call, I did it while the call already started. So, but we're here. We're here. So, Dave, good to see you.
And let me tell everybody who's viewing, if you have a question, put it in the chat. We will acknowledge you. We will answer it. We might even put you on the top there. And Dave, I'm going to put you back in the box here for a second, if that's okay.
No problem.
And I'll put you back there. And I think I hope I didn't totally remove him. Anyway, this is Felipe. Oh, I'm going to point the right way. Felipe Bassans. We've known each other for years now. He has a much better haircut than me. I look like Betty Boop here, or a rejected Beatle right now.
No, you look great. You look great.
It's my pandemic haircut. Have you ever read Ayn Rand? Have you ever read any of these books?
But I'm definitely going to check it out.
She said one thing. She has one thing, that an individual could achieve greatness for themselves, and they deserve to bask in the rewards of the things they did and enjoy them. And you should put yourself first. She believed in individualism. And then
I do actually believe in that. And I always like to think about the analogy of the airplane. In case of an emergency, what do they tell you? Put your mask first if you want to help others.
Oh, yeah. Put your mask on yourself first and then your child. Very interesting, huh? Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't help your child, your spouse, or anyone else on the airplane, can you?
Exactly. So how are you supposed to help your loved ones and be like have a positive impact on yourself, society, whatever, if you can help yourself first? And that starts with things that are simple as like feeding your body and your mind with the right information. We can spend we can use social media for browsing what's going on with the Kardashians, or we can just use it as a marketing tool. Dave, thank you. Last year, thank you for that.
Dave Skulnick just reminded me that you are was it last year the Gut Salesman of the Year.
Exactly.
That means you give good phone. You can talk to peeling wallpaper. You can start a spontaneous, I call it rehearsed spontaneity, being able to speak to anybody and start a conversation and remain comfortable in your own skin. No self-esteem issues or anything else. How do you do that?
I mean, I got news flash for everybody that is actually watching this broadcast. Everybody's insecure. We all are. It's just the main difference is that, like you said, it's spontaneity. It comes from practice. It comes from doing this often, from putting yourself in front of uncomfortable situations. If let's say, for example, you're scared of picking up the phone, make your 5 calls, talk to 5 people every day. How do you fix it? It's not gonna get fixed by itself. You have to, get comfortable with the uncomfortable, talk to people. Is it gonna be perfect? In the beginning, absolutely not. We all make mistakes. And to this day, I have a couple calls that, they suck, but when you have a system, that makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah. A system is better than winging it. How do they make cars? On a system. They used to make them one at a time. Now they have them on assembly lines. The genius of Henry Ford. If everybody has a job, they do it really well. You can make the product cheaper and faster and everything else. I want to do a proper introduction. Felipe is a licensee of mine of the Gut Sales Method. He lives in Miami, Florida. And I was talking about immigrants. Today is I want to talk a little bit about immigrants who come to this country, people who come here. And I think they bring such a wonderful perspective to America. We're a country of mutts. We're people from all over the world here. And I think this is what makes this country, I'm going to wave the flag today a little, I'm sorry. I think this is what makes this country strong and great, is because we get the good, and we get some bad too sometimes, but mostly we get good people who come here who so respect the freedom, the individuality. I was talking about Ayn Rand. She lived through the Russian Soviet Union. Her father was a successful pharmacist, and the minute when Russia became communist, they seized his business and took away a lifetime of work from him. And she said, "That's enough. I'm coming to America." She wrote books, screenplays, had some great concepts about freedom, capitalism, and entrepreneurism. And I think you embraced that. And you came here from Chile.
Yeah, from South America, very small country down south called Chile. As you know, like one thing that we do have in common that we always make fun of it is like we're both recovering attorneys. So I mean, it was a typical middle class living, but there's nothing compared to the even if it sounds cliche, the freedom of living here, of being able to make your own luck. It's waving the flag a little bit too, but we make our own luck either way, like positive or negative.
Yeah.
And that's where it's so important to have a system and not take things for granted. I mean, all these freedoms that we have, that we just can't take them for granted, for sure.
We can't, and I think that's a big problem that we have. I'm the son of immigrants. Okay, I was born in this country. Both my parents came here under very harsh terms during before and during World War II. They came here. They loved the freedom that they had. My dad owned a start. He didn't speak the language or anything. So the first thing what does an immigrant do? He opens up a little grocery store in New York City.
Can't go wrong with that in New York.
Yeah, and we weren't rich, we weren't poor, but there was always food on the table. My dad was always working. He worked 8 days a week. He took maybe 1 day off every 2-3 weeks. Smoked way too much, so he died way too young. But he came here, went to night school, learned the language, just loved this country. And he was always so grateful that he could come here and start a business. And without all the regulations and all the government interference and things like that. And how old were you when you came here?
I was in my early 20s. I was probably, I would say I was 20. It was 2008, so it's been 14 years ago. 23, 24 years old. I was.
What's the one difference you saw between South American governments and what you saw here? And you can be critical about here too. We're not perfect by any means.
Can I well, I'll try to keep clean language because we're going live, but here stuff works, like the system works, and you can really see the if you're willing to put in the work, you're going to see results. It's inevitable. You're going to see it, and there's not ever-changing rules of the game, because over there, of course, entrepreneurship, you can be a successful entrepreneur, but it's way different to when you have clear rules of the game before you play it versus having a government changing them, I don't know, every other year, and it gives a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah. Absolutely. And if anyone has a question or would like to join in, either put a comment in there or give me a hand wave or something, and I'll let you jump in, and I'll let you jump into the screen here. I know I'm waiting for Sean Osby to come here. Sean and I had
Sean the legend.
Sean, and we had a great conversation this morning. And Sean is very worldly. He's family's from Africa. He's traveled all over the place. And he had some great perspectives. I hope he comes. I see his screen, but I don't see him on it. I'd like to do it. What do you tell us a little bit about what you do and your family and everything like that? I'm very interested. You're in Miami. You have 3 beautiful children.
Yes, they're my wife. They're the reason. I always think of myself, and this is one thing that I've learned from working together over the years, because we were talking about freedom, and when you're choosing a mentor, pretty much you have to choose somebody that is already experiencing the level of success that you want to achieve, in a time frame. Let's say 3 years from now, 6 years from now, whatever. And that was the reason why when we started working together, I saw like, who's this guy? You know, he gets invited to all the podcasts, and also, you know, like working from home, building a 7-8 figure business just from like a one-man show to do it. And I'm like, oh, definitely, you know, like he's doing something right. But as far as I go, I'm from Chile, live in Miami, and have 3 gorgeous kids, 11, 8, 5 years old.
You have a gorgeous wife too, by the way.
Yes, she is. And
let's not leave her out. I don't want you to get in trouble when you're done with this.
Absolutely. I mean, she's everything. Love her. And but again, there was a time, and that's where, you know, like I always, people underestimate the value that you can actually get, or the success you can achieve at all levels from working with a mentor. Because sometimes, you know, let's say, you know, like we work together with a mentor, but that person opens your eyes to a new perspectives.
What about if it's the wrong mentor? We've got a lot of gurus.
The wrong mentor can definitely ruin, like, and one thing that I've seen a lot, it's when people contact me, it's like, I've already invested, you know, humongous amount of money in this mentor and this other one, and how did that work?
Yeah.
How much money you made?
I think you can. I was lucky. I went to a lot of seminars. I went to a lot of different schools and things like for information. But I finally met one person, and that's what I suggest to everybody. Okay, find that one person who's doing it correctly. Whatever you want to learn, find the best person you can who is also, and this is the number one thing, accountable to you. So there's so many of these programs out here. I'm going to get into trouble again, but there's so many programs out there.
We love trouble. Wednesdays are trouble. We love them.
Why stop now, right?
Yeah.
They say, oh, I'm great. I'm wonderful. I've got 1 billion students all over the world, but they won't talk to you. They won't be accountable to you. That's the word. Lou Quinal, I had to add you in here, Lou. I was reading your face. I know you were dying to come in here and say something before.
No, I was just agreeing with Felipe. I mean, you know, I'm one of those guys that spend a lot of money, you know, trying to find my dream, right? Trying to find my way through the real estate game. So I understand what you're saying. I was just nodding my head.
Lou, you're a worldly guy. You have family from the Philippines, I believe, or something like that?
Yeah, my mom and dad are from the Philippines. My wife's from the Philippines. Yeah.
How much do they
here?
Yeah, and you're in San Diego, which has a huge Filipino population.
Yes.
I know. What's that wonderful? Oh God, I'm going to forget the wonderful pasta dish with the shrimp and everything in it from the Philippines.
It could be anything. It could be
pancit.
Pancit, yeah.
Isn't it called pancit?
Yes.
Yeah, and everything.
Yes, it is pancit.
Why? Noodles. How come so many people from the Philippines come to especially San Diego, especially in isn't your wife a nurse, I believe?
No, she's
an administrator.
She works in the lab. She's a clinical lab scientist.
Yeah. How come so many Filipinos come to this country and love it so much?
Because freedom. You can do a lot of things here.
Yeah. What's not to love about this? What's not to love about it?
I don't know. A lot of people are complaining lately. I'm hearing a lot of things. Like I said, we're not perfect.
Let me get my box of tissues for all of them. Let me get my box of yes. We need to do the patent on them. We need to trademark them.
I get a lot of people who spend too much time maybe complaining and things like that. And there are righteous complaints. I'm trying to be very fair here and everything like that. But when it's the end of the day and the cable bill is due or something like that, who are you going to scream at? God, the weather, the politicians? The lawyers. Yeah, we can always scream at lawyers.
COVID. Now, you know the new one, COVID.
COVID is a good excuse, all the things. Or can you just say, you know what? I'm going to get past that stuff. I'm a good person. I can help people. I can solve problems. I can do real estate and help families to get into homes. I know how to get on the phone and talk to people. I can solve housing problems and make a great living at it. Or I can get out my boohoo tissues all day long and scream at the sky. Chicken Little, right?
Yeah. Way too many people choose the latter. Way too many people choose to blame everything and everyone, when in reality, what the one thing they need to do at the end of the day, if their credit card bills are not paid, just look in the mirror.
Yeah. And I know there's exceptional situations. I know there have been people in this world who it's been tougher for them in all kinds of different situations. But in the end, life is short. Do you want to go through it? Do you want to go through it and enjoy it? Or do you want to worry about money all the time? I was having this discussion with my wife just a few days ago. And I said, the one thing I'm so grateful for is that I can go to bed and know that the bills are paid. I said, that was my number one goal in life, because not to worry about money, to find the right business, to find the right skills through the right mentor, what we talked about earlier, and to be able to just have peace of mind and not stress about financial things. And once you take care of your own house, back to Ayn Rand again, okay, a little bit of I always say this, and this is where I get it from. I believe, very controversial, the salesperson comes first.
Amen, brother. Let me get an amen.
I think the individual comes first. And I think this is why my topic, I think immigrants respect the opportunity they have greater than maybe second or third generation people who were born here and had it much easier. What do you guys think?
I agree and add that we live in a culture of entitlement where people believe that they're owed something or that they're special just because, like they were born here, and they forget about like that everything that we have today, it's a consequence of years and years of, like people, just like you said, like immigrants, like your parents that came here and built this.
Yeah. This is a little something personal. It's kind of funny. Claudia reminded me when I was very young, both my parents were from Germany and Holland. I had an accent because where do you learn your language skills from when you're a little kid? Home, from your parents. I actually had a German accent when I was a little kid because I pronounced the words the way my parents did.
So, yeah.
And now I just have a bad New York City accent. You know what I'm saying?
It was Clutch Schnitzel Diamond before it was the Club Diamond.
I want to talk. Sean, I'm looking at you. Sean, can you come on? Or you're on the phone there right now. Sean, when you're available, give me a wave. I want to put you on. 2 minutes, he said. Okay, let's go. Hey, Helen and Joseph. For some reason, I have a feeling you weren't born in New York City. Can I put you on? Can you nod your head? Or should I leave you alone? You just go like this or go like this.
I love that takeaway.
What do you guys think about what I'm talking about? What do you guys think about this topic today? About freedom and people coming to this country? You guys are immigrants. I hope you don't mind me saying that. And you have no sound. Sorry. No sound. We can't hear you. Sorry. When you get it fixed, I'll put you back on, okay? But for some reason, we don't have any sound from you. And Sean's on the phone. David Skolnick. Always a
Dave,
man.
We're going back to Dave. Good.
What do you think?
I put some comments in the notes there. The customer is not always right, and we have rights in the process.
You're in the wrong. You're putting your notes in the wrong place, though.
I am.
Yeah, you're in the private chat, which is okay.
Shoot.
Oh,
I didn't even notice that. I'm not used to this. I'm used to the other system.
Well, let's see it.
We have somebody that said from the audience that he wasted a lot of money in mentors and educations. That's Todd. Todd, you're not alone. We've all been there. We all done that, and there's no shame to it. It's just part of searching for the right mentor. The thing is, once you find the right mentor, you have to do the work. It's not that this person's going to do the work for you guys. It takes accountability, a lot of it.
a lot. And you just use that word accountability. If I have a can you show? You're telling me how great you are. You're telling me all the money everybody's making. This is what they usually do. But can you show me how? What do you say? How do you say it? I call this Role Play Wednesday, and I like to do a lot of role plays all the time. Give me a stall, give me an objection, and I'll show you how to handle it with a little bit of voodoo, a little psychology, and a little bit of acting skill. Redirection is something we turn questions into questions. We want to get the prospect talking more than us. And that skill set alone can help you have wonderful conversations all day long with people. If you can just speak to enough people comfortably all day long, not that, well, what do you want? How'd you get my name and number? Not that cold calling rejection, because I think that sucks that just sucks success out of the room really fast. But if you can work with somebody who can show you how and give you the tools and be accountable while they're doing it ethically, honestly. Some people, I don't know, some of the things they tell people to do, it worries me a little bit. Dave, go ahead.
And that they answer their own phone when you need their help. That you didn't just sign up for a mentor program and you can never talk to anybody except some guy in a boiler room.
But here's the thing. If you're talking to this is where I always get into trouble here. If you're talking to somebody and they're just an employee making 10, 15, who knows, $20 an hour, okay, is that person going to teach you how to make 5 or 6 figures a month or become financially independent? Or are they just going to teach you how to work for somebody for $20 an hour? I asked this question. I've never gotten a good answer. Why should I work with somebody to me, entrepreneurism is right back to Ayn Rand again. The individual cannot be employed by somebody else, the entrepreneur. We want that freedom. We don't want to answer to somebody else or punch a time card or oh, boss, can I have the week? Can I have an extra day off? My wife is having we're having a baby. No, you've got to work. I don't want to ask permission for a day off, for a vacation, when I should work, what I should do, what stupid script I should read. To me, you can't be an entrepreneur and do that stuff.
We better ask for forgiveness instead of permission. So the thing is this: it's like if for those of us who are on this call and the people that are watching this call, if you're watching this call, it means that you're an entrepreneur, that you believe in freedom, and not only that, is that at this point it should be pretty clear that we're all unemployable.
Yeah.
Right. We're unemployable, and we believe in taking, like whatever financial responsibility on our own hands and make that success happen. And speaking about success, we have Chris that just joined us.
Chris is a great story. Chris's story is awesome.
Man,
Chris,
I admire Chris. Chris is a rock star, man. Always learn a lot from him when I jump on a call.
Well, thank you guys. You too as well, Felipe. I love listening to you. You've been a great inspiration for me. And we got the Godfather Claude here, man, to help us all through it.
Yeah, we're family
Chris,
now.
We were talking a lot about being an entrepreneur. You work from home. I think you just had another baby, right? So you're Mr. Mom. I was a Mr. Mom. I think Felipe's a Mr. Mom.
I love it. No, there's no shame in it. This is the thing that like, in speaking about working and having other people controlling your schedule versus you controlling your own destiny. Before Claude became my mentor and before like getting to a certain level of success, I was that kind of person in corporate America, having to ask for permission for bathroom breaks. It's unbelievable.
Can I go to the bathroom? It's a 1,
Yeah, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes. What if I need 10? Everybody's, it's different. But the thing is, now I get to work on my terms, and have the peace of mind that the bills are paid, and I get to be a lot more present in my kids and my wife's life. And that, to me, that's the definition of success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Chris, tell everybody about yourself and what you do.
I'm a residential real estate investor right now. I do creative real estate, mainly creative real estate subject to owner financing. I do some wholesaling. I also have a few properties that I own myself, and so fix and flip as well. I'm not big into fix and flip right now, but right opportunity, I will definitely flip a property, and I'm venturing off into bigger transactions, bigger deals, more units. So small multifamilies and things like that. But I love it here with you guys because we talk about sales, which is the $1 million skill, and I've become successful with the help of this group right here.
Well, you do one thing and you do it well. You talk to people every day, right? You ask questions. If somebody was getting started in creative real estate, they want to get started their own business, working from home, what advice would you give them? How should they get started?
To get started,
what would you do if you had to start all over again? Let me rephrase.
If you could go back in time and speak to younger Chris, let's say 5, 7, 9 years ago.
What do you mean younger? He's like 18 years old here or something.
Yeah, but before he was allowed to buy liquor. So I'm talking about then. So
right, man. That's a great question. Okay, well, what would I say? Educate yourself. Learn the lingo. Educate yourself. Get a mentor, and take massive action. I mean, don't be afraid to fail. Get out there and just go for it, and success happens to those people who aren't afraid to fail and who just take time and take that action to keep going. And that's what I would tell myself. Educate yourself, get you a mentor early on. And how would I get started? Just get out there and drive for dollars. Get out there and just try to see 100 houses. Try to see as many distressed properties as you can, so that you can start building an eye and a knack and a love for the business of real estate.
Yeah, it's a wonderful business. Everybody needs a place to live. Our job is to be the problem solvers in real estate. We have to learn the strategies. We have to learn to find properties, how to sell them and market them, how to buy them, how to finance them, how to do contracts. I mean, it's a lot of skill, a lot of tools on our belt that we have to be good in this business.
But
go ahead.
There's one tool, the mother of all of them. You need to learn the art and the science of persuasion, of selling.
What does that mean? Like you persuaded your lovely wife to give you 3 children? I mean,
exactly.
What do you mean?
I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Like it's just like it was like a miracle. Because she was out of my league. I always tell her that. But really, there's the one skill that it makes a whole lot of difference, especially I'm thinking about like in the case of Chris, that he's in creative real estate. How important it is to build enough rapport, trust, likability, reciprocity, everything that requires, because it's when we're solving a problem and creating doing creative real estate solutions, how important it is for them to really be emotionally involved and committed to make that decision with us.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Really important. Yeah, I missed that part, but you got to practice sales, persuasion, and influence. That's going to be the key to your success. Once you're comfortable on the phone, man, like Claude says, you got a blank check in front of you.
Todd,
yes,
it sounds so simple. This is where I think it's difficult. It sounds so simple. When somebody is looking to start a business, any business, insurance, network marketing, real estate, which most of us love, and you get all the motivation from other people, from seminars, and you get motivation. But is motivation enough? No. And the one thing, if you can just speak to people, if you can identify the needs of the product or service you're selling, Somebody wants to buy a home, sell a home. They want a better place to live. They want to move out from their parents, out of their apartment. They want part of the American dream. They want an investment that gives them a return. Is motivate? Yes, that's what I want. Okay, but how are you going to get there? How are you going to do that? You got to talk to people. It's that simple. And I think a lot of people, what's the number one greatest fear all people had? I had it at one time. What you guys know what I'm talking about, right? What's the number one fear that most people have?
Public speaking.
Oh,
Public speaking. Okay. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to speak to two nuns and a Boy Scout, or what, it's uncomfortable sometimes to be the person who stimulates, who instigates a conversation. But is that $1 million skill if you can spontaneously speak to people who you don't know or have never met before? Just by talking to people. And I think we have to be the stimulant. We have to be the one. I want to get to Mr. Sean is in the room here. Sean, can you hear
Sean
us?
the
Okay?
legend.
Yes, I can hear you. Apologize for the coughing. I was trying to hit the mute button.
No, I'm glad you're feeling better. Sean was a little bit under the weather there for a while, but he's feeling much better now.
Sean's been a little bit under coronavirus for over 2 weeks, and you might notice my face jewelry here. Was going back to something you guys were talking about earlier about people not being grateful. When I was younger, we got to live overseas in Europe and in Africa, and one of the things that consistently, I was talking to Claude about this earlier, is that that people don't appreciate how good they have it here. And even with the problems we have, this is the best place on earth. And like I said, I've lived in places in Africa, even in Europe, where so I've got this medical breathing thing here because you guys were talking about the biggest fear is public speaking. Well, I've done public speaking and I've done training. But let me tell you, when you can't breathe and you can't get any oxygen, that is the most terrifying feeling there is. Because if you stop being able to breathe, which is what happened to me and why I wound up in the hospital, your perspective on life changes immediately.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You and I were talking earlier today. Your father traveled a great deal, and I think he took you with him all over Africa, Europe. You've been everywhere, haven't you?
We lived in Belgium for half a year to learn to speak French, and we lived in a country in Central Africa that at the time was called Zaire, is now called the Democratic Republic of Congo. However, a quick look at the news will tell you that is not a good or safe place to be right now. They've had an ongoing civil war, and it's a real mess. But even when we were there, before things kind of collapsed, you could get stuff, but you couldn't get everything you really wanted. And as far as medicine or food or what have you, so the weird thing about this is my father was a PhD in sociology and urban planning, so he did things like plotting out the city, where they were going to have agriculture, how to set up the city, and he made a remark once. He said, the ground, because in the southern part of Zaire, they have volcanoes and they have diamond mines, which wind up in your rice. Got a few stories about biting into diamonds and winding up in my teeth. But the ground is so fertile, you can literally drop a seed and come back in 2 days and it'll start growing. And he made the observation that Zaire as a country could feed the entire continent of Africa, except for, and this kind of goes back to what Felipe was saying earlier about the government changing hands. They change the rules. If you're in this tribe, you get the advantage versus the other tribe. And there's no consistency. And that's one of the things as far as, America and capitalism, you have to have a consistent set of rules and the rule of law, because I can't enter into a business with Chris if he's going to change the deal on me and then I have no recourse. He can say, well, I'll pay you this much, but then I don't feel like it. I'm going to pay you something else. So there's a real problem with logistics living over there, because there's plenty of food, but getting the food to people that need it is a real problem, because the guy in the army who's carrying around an AK-47 who didn't get paid last month, him and Claude and Felipe are going to show up with the AK-47 and say, yeah, I'm taking 2 bags of rice for my family, and if you don't like it, I got this AK-47. What are you going to do about it? And, we've seen that kind of things happen while we were over there. So there's plenty of food, but there's a whole lot of problems with logistics and getting things spread out fairly and equally. And a lot of times people don't realize you got guys that are not getting paid. And we had times where the lights in the entire city would go out. And we went downtown, and my dad asked the guy what's going on. And he's like, he gives him some story, and he pulls in his wallet and says, here's a few Zaires for you and your pal. See what you can do. They walk back in the building, flip on a switch, the lights go on in the entire city. Well, the story was that these guys were the municipality engineers, but they weren't getting paid. So they just said, fine, we'll just knock the lights out and wait till someone comes down and makes us an offer. So anyway, like I said, that's the long version of that. The short version is people don't realize just how good they have it here in this country. And even when things are not going great, we have people on welfare who are living better than most of the rest of the world when you look at the percentage of population, because America is a very small percentage of the population. A lot of people don't have clean running water. They don't have electricity. They don't have houses with doors that keep out the insects or the snakes. Snakes are a big issue where I was living at in Africa. A lot of very poisonous snakes over there.
So what's your? I'll give you the last word on this topic. You and I had a great discussion today. I think you said something about why does everyone want to come here? Why aren't they running to Zaire and other places like that?
Why not?
If other countries, is anyone moving? Is anyone moving to Cuba right now or Russia?
No. Like I said, I think it comes down to what I said is that for whatever its goods and evils, and every country has that. You have a situation where everything is built on. Now, it's a little different in Washington, D.C., but people have the idea that there's a meritocracy and that there's a fair exchange and that there are rules. We call it the rule of law, but that there's going to be a consistent set of rules. Like you said, you can come and start a business and, work as hard as you want to achieve what you want. In fact, they call that the American dream. And the reality is, if you talk to people who have lived in Europe, or maybe Felipe can talk about this, in some places it is very difficult, extremely difficult to start a business. Because like I said, the problem is, and I got to see this firsthand when we lived in Zaire, everybody's got their hand out. You want to start a business? It's not just taxes. You got to pay this guy a bribe. In fact, they have a name for it. It's called metabiche. It's called feed the worm. That's their term for a bribe. And the problem is, if you got to bribe everyone that you come in contact with just to start your business, you don't have much left over. And then they can come in and change the rules. They can change the taxes arbitrarily. We talk about taxes go up, but there's a process. You don't just wake up tomorrow and some guy down at the office says, I'm raising your taxes. That's the Robin Hood stuff.
So you're saying we have a semblance of stability here, of rule, of some basic rules. All countries have rules, all governments have rules, but at least with our rules, there's an opportunity, there's a chance. We're not perfect, as I said. But what did Churchill say? He said, capitalism is the world's worst form of government, but it's the best. But it's the best one we have right now. Something to that effect.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely. Sean, I hope you feel better and everything. I really appreciate your input, man, because you've been around the world. You have so much to offer.
Yeah, he has a really good perspective on this. We have another question again from Todd. He said, I've worked in a phone center on the phone for over 15 years, and now I have a hard time speaking to people. How do you get over that fear by talking to people? That's a great question. I want to.
Yeah, it's a great question. You have to be. This is going to be tough. I think the most important word is change. Can you change? We do things that other people tell us to do and they don't work. We try other things. We're not making the money we want after spending a lot of money for advice, for systems, for applications. I think we have to we have to be able to change. Are you willing? My mentor used to always say, once again, back to my mentor, Max, everyone wants to be successful, but few are willing to pay the price. I always thought he meant money. or something like that. What he really meant, the price of change. Can you change? And I don't mean to change your religion, your politics, or things like that, but can you change the way you operate, the way you communicate?
Your
Can you
habits.
change the bad habits? Yes. Can you get it? And Sean and I talked about this, I think, this morning, getting into a routine. I have a routine that I do. Why? And I do this routine because I know I have to, but I also do this routine because I enjoy it. I exercise every morning. I run every day. I watch what I eat. I eat one meal a day. I always talk about OMAD a little bit. I spend 30 to 60 minutes a day marketing. I talk to anywhere from 5 to 25 people a day, warm prospects, follow-ups, existing clients. And this is my routine every day. And the reason I do it is because I enjoy it. So I think you got to be you got to put in the time and practice. And we got to do a role play because it's role play Wednesday anyway.
It's role play Wednesday, and we've done that tonight. One more thing to wrap up that subject, because it's so important. The fear of talking to people.
Yeah, who wants to do a role play? Steve Zobro. Yeah. He loves role plays.
Oh my God, the role play king. He's here.
He's awake. Oh my God, he popped him right in there.
So, okay, good. So, all right, you see me, good, awesome.
What's the worst objection you ever heard, Steve?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking that. But why is that important to you?
He's on the money. He's already like they're like
go.
Go.
Let me just say one thing.
Unleash the horses.
To go back to what the new people on the phone can actually do. Have goals. Have certain goals. Have business goals, financial goals. Because when you have a goal, then your mind can start, your body start going toward that goal, whether it's spiritual, family, biz, financial. Have a goal and have a setup, a certain type of vision mapping of how to achieve those goals. That's what's going to change your life. That changed my life in 1989. I've been doing real estate since then. Buying, developing land, doing an airport, doing fix and flips. I had a gold mine in California. I was working on a lease option on. I did all these things through basically setting a goal. Anyways, that was, I just want to encourage people to get a goal and get a strong goal, and then your mind can just start going toward that goal. So,
but Steve, not to be critical here, but everybody sets, what do they call them? New Year's resolutions. What do they call that? Where you repeat something every day. Affirmations.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Write down your goals. Everybody does all that stuff. They've been doing it since the beginning of time.
But there's a way to do it.
Hold on. How come it worked for you?
Well, because I have a vision. So it's a vision mapping system. And in the vision, it has my dreams, goals, steps, and tasks. That's part of the actual, because the Bible says my people perish for lack of vision. So if we have a vision, a map of what we want to do, it kind of like guides you to where you got to go. You have a dream, goal, steps, and tasks. And that's what's worked out well for me. So a little bit more deeper into a goal.
Do those goals have to be practical and enjoyable to be achievable?
One of my goals is talk to 5 people per day. Use the gut system. Every day I practice the gut system.
That's too hard. I can't do that, Steve. They won't like me. They'll hang up on me. They'll reject me. I can't do that. 5 people a day. You're asking too much.
You want me to tell you the truth or lie to you, sir?
Or to make you feel good about it, right?
It's gonna be uncomfortable in the beginning. Right. It's gonna feel horrible. You're gonna rather have a root canal than pick up the phone. But here's what's gonna happen. Right. You're gonna get more comfortable on your skin,
right? And
you're gonna start loving it. And then all of a sudden you're going to go through a completely 180 flip, because you're going to get addicted to that feeling. I feel bad when I don't do my calls every day. That's right. Just like we talk about healthy habits, exercise, eating right, and all that. Like the day that I don't do the amount of calls that I set myself up a goal. And by the way, a goal without a deadline, without a time frame to achieve it, and like Claude said, actionable steps is just a dream. People dream all day long, but they're very few willing to pay the price.
I threw Todd into this mess because he's got a great smile. And Todd, unmute yourself. I know you were dying to say something here.
No, I just want to say thank you, because you and Felipe were answering my questions.
Yeah. What do you, Todd? Todd, let me ask you something.
Sure.
How do you get good at something?
Practice.
How do you get good at something?
You practice and throw yourself in the situation. So, like when I was working in a call center, it's just taking more calls and asking more questions. More calls, more questions, more answers.
Do you need a script? Do you need a script for all the different questions people ask you?
Not a script, maybe a guideline. That's why people say, well, you don't need a script. Well, that's true, you don't. But say if I'm doing something new for the first time,
okay,
I'm going to give you a guideline.
A guideline.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. A guideline would
give you some idea of where to go to find what you need. So you're not always going to have the answers, right? But maybe you need to know where to go. Or maybe you just need to understand there's some other questions I need to ask. So a lot of times people get mad at me and I just start asking them questions. And I'm like, you know what? Oh, so this is what's really happening and you're really having a problem with this. Because a lot of times people don't always know what to say or whatever. But just a guideline. And yeah, I mean, that's just me. That's my opinion.
Practice makes perfect. Thanks for joining us.
The main thing about and of course in the gut sales system we don't believe in scripts, but we do believe in having a system. I think that the main three things why people fail in sales is because of fear, lack of systems, and the wrong mindset. And when you have a clear system, and like if you look at the steps, they're pretty simple. It's agenda, qualification, and commitment. It's only 3 steps. And like Claude said, it is simple. It's not easy because it takes a lot of practice, but it's simple. Once you learn how to, once you have that system, it's like learning how to drive. When you were, I don't know, 14, 16, and you were first learning to drive, it was very uncomfortable, especially with stick shift and all that. But now, like right now, I'll just pick up my car, go on I-95.
What's a stick shift? What are you talking about?
It's an endangered species, actually.
Okay. But what's that extra pedal on the floor for?
Exactly. Like the kids don't know what's a clutch these days. But the point is this:
I miss the clutch days.
Oh yeah, big time. But long story short is that about the fear probably never going to go away because it's fight or flight. It's human nature. It's our primal brain from 50,000 years ago. But you learn how to master it by having the right system, by learning there's certain triggers, certain rules, certain things that make people, make the decisions to do business with us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we persuade them ethically, and we have a really good product or a service or a problem that we can solve, and they agree they have that problem and they want to go on a journey with us to solve that problem, it is perfectly okay to get compensated very well for it.
Sure.
And once you taste the success of using the system, it's unbelievable. The key is the success.
Oh.
And once you reach that, you taste that, I got to have more of this. My first sale that I had, and I'll use an example. And kind of like Felipe said it, I said, do you want me to tell you the truth about this, or do you want me to make you feel good about it? I had them open up big time. So I told them the truth, and I was made close to $70,000 on that one sale. But once you get that success, it's like, man, I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to keep doing this. This stuff works. And then when you're excited, boom, people love it, and they can feed off your excitement, confidence, but once you use the techniques, it's powerful. Really it is.
Hi, I'm Felipe, and I'm addicted to the gut sales method.
Yes. Success is the key.
Keep going. Joseph and Helen, did you fix your audio problems? Can we hear you now? I guess not. Now they're frozen. Before we couldn't get their audio. Now they're frozen.
It's gonna go in the blooper section. Maybe the third is a charm. Now when we try it the third time, they're gonna be able to do it.
I want to let everybody have a chance here. Ben Jasso, you always have something to add to the conversation. What do you think about all this talk about freedom and entrepreneurship and individuality? What do you think about all this stuff? You're muted, buddy. Maybe I can unmute you. Let's see if I can do that here. Nope. We can't get it. StreamYard's a little tough sometimes.
Yeah, it requires a high bandwidth.
It does. There we go.
There we go. Thank you for letting me in. As the grandson of immigrants and the son of an immigrant, I really like what's being said. I'm in full agreement. It may not be perfect, but it seems to me about the best there is. And I've been a few places. In the beginning, when things are thin, if you'd be willing to share with me and the group a little bit about staying positive when everything looks like it ends, and as was suggested, I think that often the fear and the negative could ever go away, but some tips about how to manage and move.
Nope. I think we lost your audio, Ben.
Yeah, we lost you there.
Sorry, you kind of
one resource, one book that actually, Claude, you recommended it, and it was actually phenomenal regarding the mindset and programming our brain for that to stay positive. It's Cybernetics. It's a book by Dr. Maxwell Maltz.
Yes.
Phenomenal book. I think that anybody that it's a student of sales, it should be a required mandatory reading. That book, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Fran Bedger. There's very good books that talk about the power of how powerful is reprogramming your brain for success.
And it talks about the imagination. Use your imagination. Go back into time when you really made some sales.
Theater of the mind.
Imagine those things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, powerful book. Yes.
Anybody ever read Winning Through Intimidation by Robert Ringer? It's an old book, and he doesn't really mean intimidation the way it sounds. He doesn't mean bullying, but he means get out there, be the squeaky wheel, be the instigator, the stimulator, be the person who picks up the phone, who starts the conversation. Be willing to embarrass. Here's the way to say it. Be willing to embarrass yourself. Do you know how many times I embarrassed myself in front of audiences on phone calls and stuff? And I'm here today to tell you that was the price I was willing to pay to be successful. I still think about the dumb things I did 20 years ago and I get embarrassed all over again thinking about those things. But it's a great book, Robert Ringer. My favorite book, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success, Frank Bettinger. Great story about an insurance salesman.
Phenomenal book.
Robert Ringer was a real estate guy. Did very, very successful. A guy. I spoke. Dennis Waitley. I spoke on the same stage once with him in San Diego. He's the psychology of winning. What's the mindset? I think that's a lot what we're talking. The mindset of immigrants. I'm here. Oh my God, I can start a business. I can sell newspapers. I can write a book. I can open a grocery store. I can get a real estate license. I have the chance here to do something. And I think that's the mindset of the successful entrepreneur. I'm going to do something that I didn't have the opportunity in another place to do. And I think that might be the problem with people who are born. You know what my wife and I, our biggest fear was spoiling our children. We didn't want them to be spoiled American children. You love them so much and you give them too much. Felipe, what do you think about that?
Oh my God, it's. I would say that's for us as with my kids has been the biggest challenge. When I see my kids when they say things like always when they will complain about something, oh, the internet just went off, and I'm like, guys, those are like first world problems. I mean, like, give me a break. It's they like kids these days, they take everything for granted, and it's not their fault. It's us parents that we need to show them the real value of hard work, of earning the things that they so they can really value that. Oh my God, we have I'm
gonna put everybody on the screen who's not on the screen, and
we're gonna do a flash mob,
and we're almost out of time here. So I want everybody to have a chance to share one one idea, one secret of success, or one grateful moment, if you will. So we end on a really high note. Why don't we, Felipe, I'll give you the last word because you're the guest star today. Let's go around. Chris Scott, Mr. Cash Offer. What do you think?
Secret to success is
Yeah.
never give up, man. Just keep going, take massive action, and never call it quits.
There you go. Sean, somebody's got some music playing here or a phone ringing. Sean, anybody you want to jump in? Dave Skolnick?
I just love that one line Felipe came up. If the client is willing to go on a journey with us to solve their problem, it's like, come with me. I've got the solution. I've got the answers. Are you willing to take that leap? That was a great line.
There you go. Helen and Joseph, did you get unfrozen and get your audio fixed yet? Nope. Doesn't look like that.
Frozen. Yeah.
Nope. Todd, what do you think? What's your 2 cents before we go?
My 2 cents is to keep listening to people like you, because you guys have got a lot of great information, and definitely have to say thank you, because this helps out. This helps me out a lot.
Luke Quinall, thank you. Luke Quinall.
Yes, sir. I say don't give up and learn how to sell. Learn sales.
Learn how to sell. Thank you. That's my mantra, baby.
Yeah.
Learn how. I still think sales, another persuasion or communication, is the $1 million skill. When everybody is walking on hot coals, or getting motivation, or going from the Guru of the Week Club, I think the one skill that we've lost, because maybe we have too much technology, is the ability to speak to another human being and get them to like and trust us. I think we've lost that skill, which is why I'm so redundant on it. Thank you, Lou. Great point. Steve Zobro.
I would say listening to people, others. And I want to say, someone like Sean, I want to pray for Sean. Sean, I pray that God will heal you for what you're going through right now, because I know it's no fun to have that. So I just pray for the good Lord to heal you right now, so you'll keep getting better and stronger, so you can keep doing what you need to do. So others, finding emotions, listen to people. And that's why, Sean, bless you, man. Because I know you're going through a tough time.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Felipe, thank you so much for being on. You're an inspiration to all of us. What do you think about everything we spoke about today? All these different ideas?
One thing that I'm very grateful for, it's for moving to this country, making that decision 15 years ago. It's the best decision I ever made. Also, the decision of searching, finding, and working with the right mentor. I mean, Claude and I, we go back to, I don't know, it's going on 6 years, but
yeah,
I always joke and say,
35, 36 years old or something like that.
Yeah, it's what was his name? I always say I'm a slow learner with deep pockets, but I'm proud of it, because it's I wouldn't change it for anything. Find the right mentor, because elite athletes, they do the same. They work with a personal trainer, and that's what separates the 1% from the rest of the people. Also, if you have a system, the education is out there. I can guarantee you guys look on Claude's YouTube channel, and you will find more sales education that you can find on those $29.97 programs. I guarantee you that. But the thing is, knowledge is not power. It's the application of that knowledge what really makes the difference. It's taking action. It's doing the work. It's willing to go out there and talk to people. Set up yourself the goal of talking to, if 5 people is too much, talk to 3 people a day in the beginning, and then just start scaling up until you feel very comfortable doing it. But I guarantee you that once you master the skill of selling, and you understand what makes people buy the $1 million rule, it's the other way around. You can't live without it. You just can't. I mean, I don't see myself not talking to people one day. Like my wife also, she's like, you always like to talk to strangers. And I go like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't listen to my mom's voice in my brain saying don't talk to strangers. We'll just talk to them. and you build connections, and it's a great feeling, guys. I can guarantee you that.
Go ahead, Dave Skolnick. You wanted to jump in here.
I just had to say about Felipe, for you as his mentor, the greatest compliment is when the student becomes the teacher.
Oh, thank you.
And he has done that. He's gone to that next level.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I got a little criticism here, constructive criticism. We never did a role play. So let's do a role play. Felipe, why should I work with you?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't. But let me ask you this before I go, because it's an hour and 5 minutes and this broadcast has been going for a little one. Why are we talking today? What's your biggest challenge?
Well, I'm scared to pick up the phone and I need more sales and more leads and everything. And I saw your webpage and everything. You don't have references, do you?
You know what? I'm glad you asked, because I mean, my clients are my best salespeople. And actually, how many references do you need? 3, 6, 9?
Yeah, 1 or 2 would be fine. Just, I don't know you. We never met before. And here you're asking me to do this real estate deal and all this money. And I've never had anybody try to close me on real estate in one phone call.
And you probably never will, because after I'm gone, that lottery ticket is going to a shredder.
I love his answers. I'm sorry. So can you give me 2 or 3 references?
Let's say I do that, sir. I'll be glad to give you. Actually, I'll give you 5. But what's going to happen at 5 o'clock when I call back and you have talked to my references, that I'm going to give you names and phone numbers and emails. And if they can vouch for what I'm saying, are you in a position for you and I to do business at 5 o'clock this afternoon? Or you can say no. Either way, it's fine.
Well, I have to make a decision today.
Yes, sir. How old are you, sir?
I lie about my age. I'm 36.
And yeah, I'm 36 too, sir. So from one man to another, if those references are of your satisfaction, what else do you need from me for us to do business today?
I guess nothing else. I suppose we should move forward. I guess.
And you guess? I'm getting a lot of guess.
Let's do it. Let's just do this. I've made it. Let's just do this. Thank you. Boom. There's a role play. Do you see? He didn't go back to his presentation. He turned my questions into questions, and he made me paint myself in a corner. Suppose I gave you those references. What happens when we speak at 4:30? Can you say yes or no? You ask for the references. If they meet with your satisfaction, what happens next? Why should I work with you? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't. These are the perfect guts answers, because they put all the stress on who? The salesperson or the prospect?
Yeah, like your mentor told you once, if you're feeling the pressure, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And the prospect needs to feel a healthy amount of pressure. Not feel back into a corner and feel like bulldozed, but yeah, they have to feel that pressure because they have a problem. And we're selling solutions. We're selling solutions to those problems. If you believe in that, it's your responsibility to point it out to the prospect.
Absolutely. Felipe, everyone else, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen who've been watching this all over the internet, we love your participation. Kerry Kennedy, I'm sorry you didn't get on, but I hope you were watching and everything. Kerry was texting me in there. My webpage is claudediamond.com. I have free books, free consultations. Feel free to go there. Felipe, what's your webpage, or somebody wants to contact
It's my first and last name. It's felipevosans.com. You can go there, book a strategy call, and we can go from there, guys.
Everybody have a great day. Stay healthy. Sean, get better soon. And remember, everyone, no one deserves success more than you. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care, guys.